Bitcoin, we tell it's a digital gold. That means there is a scarcity of how many Bitcoin that is created. But a lot of people might ask, like, that you can create digital scarcity anytime, right? But the thing is that digital scarcity creating was really hard. You can actually, if you're just using the database, anybody can manipulate that database and increase the supply, decrease the supply, and all these things you could do. But the Bitcoin digital scarcity is a permanent scarcity. Nobody can edit it because it's a decentralized ecosystem. So the rules are written once when the Satoshi created, like back in 2000s. I think back then when we were building Sapient, one of the things was that definitely we wanted to solve the problem which we personally faced. So for me, even being a techie, this was a problem. And let's say if I'm not able to make my friends and family use it or people around me to use it, like I will never be able to onboard it to something like a crypto. So still our tagline is that 100 millions of crypto users, but still I'm not able to onboard my mother into the crypto ecosystem. So with this, we thought we could actually change it, like with the recovery. And we, at that time, we probably were like, I personally was immature in terms of a lot of people were in crypto. It's very difficult to immediately think whether a customer will pay for you or you can scale your solution to like millions of users. It's very hard. So our goal was
Today, I have with me Koshik Raj on What It Really Takes. He is an author who wrote a book on the foundation of blockchain, and then he is also a co-founder of Consenso Labs and WIRT. It's majorly in Bitcoin and I would say cryptocurrency and blockchain. He's building something. And apart from that, he was also a faculty in Amity, where he was ex- uh, helping with blockchain program. But the pivot which he took was after, starting the normal path where everyone goes for a job, where he joined RSA and then he worked in co-works, and that's when after that took a leap and wrote a book and then started his own company. So I'm so excited to know about how, when, and why. Yeah, thank you so much, Kaushik, for being here. Like, it's really great to connect with you.
yeah. Thank
Yeah,
you so much for
yeah,
having me. And thanks for the like
yeah.
lovely intro as well. I think that's pretty much accurate, like really at a high level, pretty accurate. But yeah, like really, excited to talk about the entire journey, like all the stuffs that we did, all the stuff that worked and did not work. Yeah, pretty
Yeah,
excited to talk about
yeah.
that. Yeah,
Sure, Kaushik. I remember, first of all, we both were in the same college,
yeah,
though different classes. I would say that we did our internship also in RSA, and I know that you were like amazingly good when it comes to coding and Python. That time you were like the hero in our RSA, which is part of Dell EMC. Back then, it was a part. After that, I left, I
yeah,
remember. And then
mm,
you were in RSA itself, right?
yeah, yeah.
After
For
that,
a
what
short
happened?
time.
Like, for a short time, is it
Yeah, yeah.
you, so that time also, I guess you also had the thought already that, this is for the short time you'll be working for,
True.
or doing a job, and you had in mind you wanted to things differently, or what happened after
Yeah.
RSA or while RSA? What was your thought process?
Yeah. I think RSA was like a pretty good start for our journey. Because we like as a like just coming out of the college, doing internship, we learned the process of a corporate world looks like. We did learn about like a lot of technology things behind the scenes, what it happens. And I think we kind of like had a like really good bond with our colleagues, how everything like gelled. But I think as a like a person who has been into this like building stuff, like doing coding a lot of things, like we want like exciting stuff, right? So one of the things that was happening exciting in Bangalore, like where our office was, is the startup ecosystem. So I always wanted to work out of the startup ecosystem to just to get the idea what happens, how the smaller team works, right? Like because a bigger corporation, it's always like you have like smaller teams, but you'll have like larger teams, on top of it, like there is a lot of hierarchy and
Yeah.
all. So I just wanted to get that feel, even though like uh, it wasn't about like the salary or anything, and it just like I wanted to experience that. And one of the things that we did in RSA, right, like our background was information security, and like
Yeah.
which we did in masters, and security in RSA and everything. Um, there would have been like a lot of scope to go deep into one particular sector. That was always possible. But I think I just wanted to give a try on general software engineering. Like either it's like working directly under CTO, or maybe guiding a couple of people under me, or like building a small, building under a small team. Yeah, so that's what happened. Like I think I got an opportunity immediately after like 3-4 months of full time to work on a early stage startup called CoWorks, which was
Okay.
kind of like a competitor to WeWork at that time, where they're building
Yeah.
a like co-working space. But I was hired under a tech team, like as one of the senior developers, to build some like cool internal stuff. Like either it's like room booking stuff, or there was some AI thing that they were doing back then, like where
Okay.
you can have like chatbots, like all the members can interact with it, get guidance, do room bookings, and like ask questions and everything. And there were like some hardware stuff also they were building on Raspberry, I think, Pi, right? Like it was like pretty cool. Like, and like since I had a security background, that CTO was telling you'll get to work a lot under the networking security and everything, which I eventually got to do there as well. So there were like a lot of things simultaneously, and I had a little bit of DevOps background, right? So that DevOps
Yeah.
background was pretty handy into going into startups, because I developed the structure there for pipeline, all the software development, entire workflow, everything. So it was like pretty handy. That was what I worked in RSA to implement. But yeah, I did not get to work directly in the security field, but mostly everything. Like it was, I kind of like became a full stack developer after 2-3 months. Like got to do the front end development, back end, DevOps, and everything. And also I got a couple of interns immediately to manage under me, and then few software engineers after that. So yeah, it was like a pretty big jump into a very different field, but it was exciting, the jump.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, wow. It turns that too in that age. I guess it was during 2016 or 2017, if I'm not wrong.
Mm,
That's where
yes.
I
Yeah.
I feel we were kids back then, and you were still you were managing to handle the interns as well as you did. Like you used to love so much, no? This building, uh, coding, completely into coding and building something. I remember. That's great.
Yeah.
And then what happened after co-works? Like, for how long you were there in co-works?
Exactly 1 year. So I was there for 1 year. I think till 2017, and I was there. I guess there were different reasons. Again, what happened? I loved building with the team. The team was pretty good. Like I had like really great colleagues, CTO. Everyone was amazing. There was growth and everything. But I think I got into one more FOMO of like missing out on what was happening around me. Like for example, like AI was taking place. Like a lot of things were happening in the AI space, machine learning space back then, and the other thing that was happening on the crypto space as well. Like 2017,
Oh.
since we had a background of crypto, right? Like RSA, either it's a masters and everything. So, um, like I started as a part time on weekends to learn about crypto. Like I think after 6 months of working in coworks, and by the way, like our CTO was also like pushing me to like learn different things. Like one of the things was blockchain, so he was like always constantly telling, "Can we do some side projects on blockchain? Can we implement something for the internal team to experiment this use case and everything?" And that gave me kind of like a push to learn new things over the weekend or whenever I got time. And like when I entered into this space, like there was like whole new things that came in. It was like very different than what we do in the software engineering space. Either it's an ecosystem or the contents that we get to learn. I mean, contents are pretty raw. Like there was not a lot of material. There were like a couple of books, I think, um, for the development. But there were like a lot of good contents that we can study from the past. For example, cryptography is always the base for the fundamentals of the cryptocurrencies or fundamentals of blockchain. So there was a lot of learning required. You had to do a lot of research. For example, it was not something like currently we do, right? Like you just go to Google Perplexity or ChatGPT, you ask and you get answers pretty easily. Same thing with the Twitter as well. You just go to the Twitter and find things, and you'll get resources and everything. Back then it was pretty difficult. Either you have to go through some course, either in Udemy or all this kind of like Coursera, or just get a book, right? So like how the
Hmm.
learning.
Yeah,
2018,
yeah,
20.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So that took a lot of time. Like over the weekends, I was like, I have to get in full time because like there are a lot of things. And I think that was a time where we are still like pretty early into the career, right? So we could take a risk. Like I was like, okay, let me take a pause for 1 year. Maybe I have like little savings for now. And then I'm pretty sure I can get into the software engineering world whenever I want. But yeah, so I like my idea was just to experiment for 5, 6 months and then start applying for companies again. Either in the blockchain space or like generally any space. I was okay with that. But I think once I started reading about it, it's things changed.
You went all in.
It was a rabbit hole.
Oh my God. That's great. But okay, tell me one thing here, this blockchain behind the scenes when there's this coding and all these things, the languages are similar only, right? When it comes to building software solutions for blockchain, the
Yeah.
programming
So
languages and all.
yeah, so it's pretty similar. Like, let's say when you're building a full stack solutions on top of any language, right? It's pretty similar. Like, for example, if you want to build a front end solution, it is always on JavaScript or TypeScript right now. If you want to build infra layer, most of them you can either choose Golang or Rust or JavaScript and TypeScript, right? So these things are still required for blockchain. But there is a core essence, something different. For example, when you're building a backend solution, you have databases, right? So replace the database sort of with the blockchain now. All the transactions, all the interaction that happens from the front end will can go through the database for like we call it as indexing to make it faster and everything to read and write. But eventually it has to reside, the interaction should reside on this the different layer, which is a network of blockchain, which is that is what is decentralized, that is what is immutable. So there it's a different
Okay.
language, so a different mechanism. So it's
Okay.
pretty similar. Let's say, for example, if you know JavaScript, the languages they seem pretty similar. So they have a different virtual machine itself. For example, to execute the code of Java, you need JVM ecosystem, right? Java
Yeah.
Virtual Machine. So in Ethereum, we have something called EVM. It's called Ethereum Virtual Machine Ecosystem. So these are these are EVM that that executes the bytecode, and that bytecode will be created by one more language. Like there will be a compiler, different compiler, and then will be a language which is called Solidity. That Solidity is the most commonly used language since 2015 till now also in the Ethereum ecosystem. But since there are a whole lot of different blockchains, the languages are varied. Like there are some of these blockchains which actually works on Rust language as well. So, for example, the Solana ecosystem, they still use as a programming language. But the reason they created their own language is one thing is that there is always a limitation on what code you can execute on the blockchain. It's not as easy as like directly executing on the backend because there are a lot of security aspects also you have to consider because you are actually
Yeah.
dealing with the actual money, and then there could be a lot of risk of either the entire thing going down or the brute force attacks and everything that you have. There is like entire economy built on top of it. So that is why
Oh,
there are some limitations on some of the things that will not happen. For example, you can't do a looping on uh, infinite loops are kind of like a security threat. So those kind of things are avoided, and that's the reason there is a new language that is created. But in essence, it's like pretty similar.
oh, that's great. And
Mm.
wow, I got to know internals about the coding side of the blockchain, I would say. But tell me one thing. So when you took those 5 months break and you were like, what made you take that 5 months break? You wanted to go research more about it. And what was the reason for that break?
Yeah, I think there are like two reasons, main reasons. As I mentioned, one of the things was that there were too many things to learn, which was not happening with the my current job that was I was doing. You could have done, but because the work in the startup is also very heavy, right? Like you sometimes end up
Yeah,
working on
yeah, yeah.
weekends as well and overnight. Like I think there was no time. Like we used to come back at like late at night at 2 o'clock early morning with some of the releases and all. So I think it was not a burnout kind of a thing, but that it was exhausting to do two things. So I had to like,
Yeah.
okay, what if I get like this entire thing that I'm doing? And what if I just use that entire time into what I like really like reading right now? So that was the initial idea. And
Oh.
I was little bit confident on, okay, like if I want to, my CTO also gave me an option, you can come back anytime. So that was also a reason,
Yeah.
like he was very friendly with me. So that was one thing. And the other thing was that there was a huge amount of thing that went into, yeah, like there is always a FOMO, right? Like I want to do it right now. This probably is the time, because I think 2017 was also a bull market. So a lot of things in the monetary system was also economic stuff. So I wanted to learn the economy part of it, which was quite new to me. So the cryptography part, programming part, okay, that is something I could like understand very closely with the blockchain thing.
Yeah.
I can do development and all. But the economy part of the crypto is like very different. For example, why does Bitcoin has the monetary value? Why does Ethereum has this transaction fee concept, and how the game theory behind Ethereum works, so that it is actually working decentralized. So some of the things did not make sense to me. Like it's so easy for me to understand right now, and I always assume that when I explain, everybody understands it. But when you do that first time, when you try to learn first time, it's like
Yeah.
very different. Like you will not be able to compare. There is no comparison. The only thing you can actually compare is, okay, there was a gold investment, or Bitcoin is sort of like a Bitcoin investment. But why does Bitcoin has a value? Like why does it have like $115,000 right now? Why is it even that worth that
Yeah.
much? Yeah. So
Why?
yeah, so this is the intrinsic nature of it. Like there are many things under it. Like for example, Bitcoin, we tell it it's a digital gold. So that means there is a scarcity of how many Bitcoin that is created. So okay, that is one question, one thing. But a lot of people might ask, like, that you can create digital scarcity anytime, right? But the thing is that digital scarcity creating was really hard. You can actually, if you are just using the database, anybody can manipulate that database and increase the supply, decrease the supply, and all these things you could do. But the Bitcoin digital scarcity is a permanent scarcity. Nobody can edit it because it's a decentralized ecosystem. So the rules are written once when the Satoshi created, like back in 2000s. um, Now you cannot change it, and there is a lot of incentivization that is gone to make the security of that Bitcoin, so that is why it's like unbreakable. Like you will not be able to change anything that has happened in the past, either the transactions or any rules that you are going to write, how it's going to function. So that's one of the reason everybody has bought into that economy, and there is no going back. And then there is a digital scarcity that is created. So it's pretty similar to like what gold, right? Like gold is a scarce material, but the only thing is that gold has a higher utility. So gold's utility is like you can spend it as a jewelry and everything, and it's a kind of like it was an early monetary system as well. So Bitcoin was, it doesn't have any other utility other than just one thing, which is what's created for payment ecosystem. So just like gold was created actually for investment later, but it was
Yeah.
created as a payment ecosystem first, because it was something that everybody in the world could agree on. Okay, this is a common payment that will be accepted across the world. But Bitcoin, it's sorry, gold itself has a lot of problems in terms of either how much gold you can move between countries, how fast you can move, and everything. So the Bitcoin was created with the similar ideology of, one thing is that you have to be scarce to make that as a monetary system, and the other thing is that it has to be moved across the time and space quite faster. So anything digital you can
Okay.
move across time and space, either place and everything faster, right?
It's
So
faster. Yeah.
yeah, so Bitcoin was the first concept which kind of like revolutionized the digital um, payment ecosystem, where you can move across time and space. At the same time, it has to be decentralized. It can't be at one place. So let's say if you have a database, again, like if you have a digital kind of a currency at one place, anybody can tamper it. Any institutions can tamper it. Any country can tamper it, and everything. So now, since this is a global ecosystem, right? Just like gold, you cannot tamper the supply of it. So Bitcoin, it has to be decentralized. We call it as a uh, uh, there's a term for it. I kind of like forgot, but yeah, it's a way of bookkeeping where the bookkeeping has to happen once, and it will not be like it will be like distributed across all the nodes. Like it will be distributed across all the world immediately, but we'll not be able to undo it, because if it has to be decentralized, you should not be able to undo it. So that's where it uses this concept of distributed ecosystem. And this was the hard problem. It actually called as a double spending. Okay, double spending is the right word. It's been like so long into the basics. The double spending problem is in the digital ecosystem. If you have a digital token, uh, you update in something in the database, and anybody can actually, okay, you say that, okay, I hold $1,000, you give that $1,000 to somebody. If somebody else can actually update that, give the same $1,000 to something by updating that database, there will be like a double spend of that $1,000 just in the database. These kind of things could happen because this attack could happen in the digital ecosystem unless you have a tremendous trust on an entities, something like a banking ecosystem.
Yeah.
To make this happen in a decentralized ecosystem, there has to be a mechanism to come to a consensus where there is a single truth about one transaction. A single truth. That achieving that single truth when there is a distributed ecosystem involved is very hard. So that is where there was a mechanism called as a proof of work that was created, and this is the soul of Bitcoin ecosystem or the crypto ecosystem. It's called as a consensus mechanism, and Bitcoin has a consensus mechanism called proof of work. And if you might have heard the term mining, so the mining
Yeah.
is the term that is used to make this happen, so that everybody is on the same kind of like a uh, truth. So everybody believes in this particular truth. Okay, somebody transferred $100 to $100, and everyone knows this truth, and you will not be able to cheat the other people saying that I have not sent this $100. So this is possible with the centralized ecosystem to cheat. So this is called as a double spending attack. You will not be able to do with Bitcoin. So for that you needed this game theory, or to make sure the transactions are not rolled back. It's always like immutable. This proof of work involved, and that also involves incentivization mechanism. So that means every blockchain, it's a kind of like a hard puzzle. It's actually a computation puzzle where it's, if you, again, if you go deep into it, it involves hashing and all. Like it's a one-way hashing
Yeah.
concept, and it kind of like makes sure. So the entire thing is that it takes a lot of time to create that one block in the ecosystem. So in
Okay.
one block in the Bitcoin, so that one block, since it is created, nobody can undo that. Like as more and more block created, it just becomes immutable, and everyone will believe in that. Because to create that one block right now, it would cost in this current economy around $100,000, you can say. So that is why the
Okay.
Bitcoin's value is close to $100,000. So yeah, it's a
Yeah,
lot of
but when
green
it
field.
started, yeah, but,
Yeah.
but when it started, it was just $1 or $2. No, not even, it wasn't cents, not even dollars,
Mm,
the
mm,
Bitcoin rates. But
mm.
now it is, one coin is around like more than a CR when it comes
Yes.
to Indian currency.
Yeah, I think
How it
probably.
increased?
Yeah, it's again, that is what the more and more people join this network, the difficulty of this network increases, because there will be a lot of congestions, right? So when there is a congestion in the network, the transaction fee increases, and when there is a lot of this miner also. So let's say as more and more it becomes decentralized, as more and more people become part of this proof of work or the mining network, there is a competition. So they use higher laptop, like not just laptop devices with more processing power, and the core of this proof of work involves the processing power. It requires GPU to compute this puzzle, like kind of like a hashing value. That requires a lot of power, and since you are spending a lot of power, the value of the incentivization increases. So it's kind of like a game theory. It's like the more money, like just you can ask the same question, why the gold prices are going up, right? So couple of reasons. One is that the mining has become harder and harder because the gold is very less right now. It's scarce material. So the mining becomes harder, the gold price increases as well. Same thing in crypto as well, like
Yeah,
Bitcoin. The mining of this Bitcoin is harder, the incentivization is less. So the lesser the incentivization you get, the prices will increase because everybody wants
increase.
Bitcoin. It's kind of like a
Yeah.
demand supply. Again, it's a basic concept of economics.
Okay. Okay. So tell me one thing. So what made you uh, become the author of Foundation of Blockchain? Is it you were seeing a lot of scattered data and the research and everything was very difficult and you wanted a place where people, it makes easier for the people to understand?
I think that was
How
one of
did the
the reasons.
journey start?
Mhm. Yeah.
So in those 5 months you read and you understood so much about it, and then what happened? What was your mindset after that?
Yeah, I think that was one of the reasons. But I think just before starting that 5 months itself, I got this opportunity, like reached out from one of, it was happened through one of my friends. One of my friend was an author, and he connected me to a publisher called Pack. And they were like looking for people to write author a book. So because there was no book, not many books, I think books were there from like famous publisher. Pact did not have, and the Pact is kind of like a publisher. They will look for anybody who's a software engineer, either you're a lecturer or something. They can actually write a book. You don't need like a big credential. That's where okay. So I was thinking, okay, anyway, I'm learning things. Let me write a book side by side. So it's like it's like a really long. Initially, it was kind of like a 6 month kind of a deal. You have to finish a book in 6 months, but I think it took a lot of time. It took a year to close the entire thing, like write a book. So yeah, my initial idea was okay. Anyway, I'm learning. Let me the information is scarce, and I can do it like side by side. But I think what ended up happening was that I spent probably a lot more time writing a book because it was one of the first experience, right? And I think dealing with the
How
publisher,
was the experience?
mixed feelings. In terms of writing, learning, it was good, but it is hectic. Like especially when you're working under a publisher, I think there's a like lot of deadlines. So one of the things I did not want is like deadlines. So you still had to go through a lot of deadlines. You still push yourself to write things because I was not natural at writing things. So
Yeah.
and like you get bored after certain point, write things, and also yeah, it involves a lot of things. You have to learn about making sure you reread your stuffs again and again. You'll have to make sure the grammar is right. You have to deal with the technical publisher, like the technical mentor who will review it. You'll have to redo it again. You'll have to make sure that the content is it doesn't have any copyright. You'll have to restructure everything if it does.
Oh
So
well,
it's the main thing is like rewriting was the hard part, like doing it again and again and again. But yeah, it was an experience.
you would like to have another experience of it.
Maybe not in the same way. Maybe I want to write like if time permits at any time, like an independent author, like write on my own time. That would be better.
Does the time perfect for people who are into business? I
Yeah.
so feel 24 hours are not enough, dude.
No, not right now. I don't think so.
Even I want to write a book. That is one of the desire which I'll be writing. It's a complete different what is it, domain altogether. It's more on life and the journey on XYZ.
Mm,
But
mm,
I don't see that there is time until
mm.
I make it every day or something of that sort. If I want to really have that passionate desire that I want to do it before I die, at least in the coming 3 years. But it's just very difficult to figure out, like, when you get that particular time, because you need that peace of mind as well, no?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And you don't have the peace of mind where your big morning starts, like after you're freshen up, the work starts kicks in, and then the
Mm.
entire day just blows. You don't know when it is by.
Yeah, yeah. I think
Okay.
unless something that has autopilot going on, like either your startup or somebody can take care of it, it's really hard. I mean, we might think that okay, we can take 1 hour, but I think the context switching is the hardest part. So even let's say something very related to work, I can do. For example, getting on to this podcast or talking like let's say doing a town hall, doing a Twitter space side by side, anything related to work, I can do that. But since if it's like very different to work what the content of the book or anything, it requires a context switch which is hard. Like it's
Yeah.
similar to like going to gym as well, right? So going to gym is not the hard part. Like you can take half an hour, but making that mind to go up every day, so you have to make sure that you schedule that context switch into your day-to-day routine. So
Yeah,
that's yeah.
no matter what your really, mind is saying, you just have to do it. You have to do it, like you have to brush your teeth, you have to
Mm,
do that. That is
yes.
something very difficult, not
Ye-
not to maintain that consistency too. True. Then what
mm,
happened, Kaushik? After, so it was 1.5 year of roller coaster of writing the book,
mm,
and you wrote the book, and
mm.
I guess it was in which after co-works, those 6 months or 1 year break, that was 1.4 years you took.
Yeah, I think it's a same thing. Like I wanted something different. Specifically in the crypto itself, not I felt one thing is that obviously I cannot do this like for a lifetime. I did the content or, kind of like being a guide for something. But at the same time, at the end of writing a book, I was experimenting a few things. So one of the things was that, it was a time where I had to make money also, right? Like, it's been like 1 year. And then I think there was uh, you know, this publisher fee, like you get some paid something, but it's not enough, right? So you'll have to go back to this. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's uh, again, at the end of writing a book, I wanted to either go back to working, specifically in the finance or crypto world. That's what I was thinking. But at the same time, what I was also doing is, okay, I have this knowledge of writing a book and I did a lot of research and everything. Let me just do some side coaching. Like, there was like a lot of opportunity. I used to go to these meetups, talk about crypto, onboarding to crypto. Either it's the students or like the people who are in this software engineering, they wanted to learn this and everything. So doing a lot of these meetups with some other entities, they were doing all these meetups. I was just like going and talking there. And at the same time, there are a lot of people who wanted to learn crypto by paying. So I was doing lecturing as well. So it was kind of like a tutor, like 1 hour I used to take, charge them something. And I enrolled in like online as well, where like I told that advertise that I'll teach and everything. And that I was doing simultaneously, I think probably taking like 3, 4 classes. And that was not scalable. I knew that I will again burn out with this. Because it's something that is not exciting, right? You will talk about it, but you can't do that every time. I can't do that every time. Maybe I'm not like a great lecturer to do the things again and again, unless there is something growth. So interesting thing happened was that I met this in one of these online tutoring itself. I met this person who was like, who was already a CEO of a company, and he was telling he had some ideas to build products around crypto and blockchain intersection in the finance thing. He was like, let's do an MVP. He was again my student, but he was like very elder to me, like um, 25 years older to me. So
Oh,
he
wow.
was at its peak of the career, and like he just wanted to experiment with things. So okay, I was like, okay, I like building stuffs. I like building in crypto. Why not, do some like development stuff again? Like, let me experiment with these things. So that was the journey into the startup world, I would say, like where he offered like consulting thing where like a project idea was there. It was not my project idea, but I could work on things that actually was in crypto. And the fun thing is that he's still our co-founder in the recent product as well. It has been a really long journey with him, like more than just more than I think 5.5 years. We worked on multiple products, but the one thing is that I met this really great person who always backed whatever happened. He was always open to pivots, open to experiments and everything, as long as we, kind of build a product that actually matters. So, yeah, yeah, that one of the good things happened with teaching or the online coaching is that I met my co-founder long back.
Wow. He's 25 years older than you, and still he was like, at that enthusiasm that he wants to build something, experiment, and pivot. That is rare, dude.
Yeah.
To be
Yes.
honest, in that age, that is rare. Wow. So, what was the product? Like, what was the problem you were trying to solve? Is it like Sapien was one of the you were a CEO and co-founder of founder of Sapien? Is it that MVP project which you are trying to build?
That happened after that, but before that also we built on enterprises. So since my co-founder had a background of finance and like he had a background of even the jury, what do you call justice systems and everything. So we wanted to build on the like international one thing is that there was a concept called loan syndication, which happens in big banks. So the loan syndication is like a collaboration of different banks where you disperse loans for an entity, which is a large loans. So that kind of system was very inefficient in banking sector. So people were experimenting how this decentralized tech could be used in blockchain, and there was a whole different concept of called as an enterprise blockchain, and that was quite new as well. People were experimenting, and there was a tech available, like big institutions are building on top of it and everything. So yeah, so we use that enterprise a blockchain ecosystem to build some of the MAPs. We pitched to several banks. We even were able to get into some accelerator program back then in 2020. Yeah, that was a different journey, but that's something that again did not work out. After some time, we found that there is like lot of gap involved into scale or to bring that particular product into the banks, and the banks were very skeptic about newer technology unless they build it. So that did not work out for a really long time.
So was it like, you were building a solution, or was it a kind of product mix as something you were trying to
It
do?
was
As in,
it was it
yeah,
was a mixture. It was, you could say it's a SaaS, but the thing is that it was a kind of like a
customized for
complete.
different banks you would have.
Yeah, it was a consortium of solution for all the banks. So to have that particular product work, you needed multiple banks to be part of your ecosystem. Otherwise, it will not have
And
value.
you tried pitching to multiple banks along
Yeah,
with your co-founder after
specifically,
building Summit, after
yeah,
figuring out that, it is solving certain, sorry.
yeah. After building like the basic, MVP, we pitched to these institutions, like in Singapore, I think in Hong Kong as well.
And what was the experience? They were skeptical.
Uh, yeah, like it's very difficult to make them on board. Like I think couple of banks we did POC, they liked it. I think they were building internally as well. This is what, like most of the banks would build that internally, and then rather than or taking the service from the outside as well, because we were a smaller team as well. Yeah, so I think one of the reasons we went a little deeper into it because we got into the acceleration programs, and that helped us connect with these different entities and all. But again, the challenging part was getting them onboarded to use your solution, because you're just building a product. We are very early, and then if you're a team of 2 3 people, they could replace you at any time, taking your ideas. That was always possible.
Oh, oh, did
So
that
banking was
happen?
a very big challenge directly to build solution to banks.
So then what happened? After that, you realized you want to pivot something, or you want to build something differently.
Yeah. So one of the things I personally, because these were the products that we were building out of experiences. For example, my co-founders, this was all my co-founders' experience in either working in the banking sector, finance sector. So this were we trying to build. And I always wanted to experiment in the actual crypto world, which doesn't have common bridge with the banking sector. But independently, how do you get into this? How do you experiment the crypto, and how do you build products purely in the crypto? It doesn't have a intersection between the banking sector or the Web2 sector, because that's where most of the people were there. But it is kind of like a bubble. Like people stay in that bubble. It's very difficult to onboard new people, but we wanted to experiment that there as well. Like I was always experimenting. I was participating in hackathons, talking to a bunch of people, experimenting these apps and everything, but never got a full-time opportunity working there. So we were building for hackathons. So what happens is that hackathons are really great in crypto, where you can get your ideas pretty out very early. You can get feedbacks if some ecosystem notices it, some users notices it. If they like your idea, you know that okay, some people might use this, some people might pay for this and everything. So that is where the idea of like something like Sapient was born. Again, that was not like a ultimate product that would scale in our journey, but it was a really good
What
journey
was
for us.
Sapient about?
Okay, so just to
Sorry.
give you a background, one of my always my personal or anybody in the crypto would always face a problem in experiencing this crypto itself. That is, user experience is terrible, specifically when it comes to user onboarding or how do you actually manage your crypto funds. So most of them are pretty unfamiliar with the concept of self custody. So in crypto, there is a concept of self custody. That means it's pretty similar to how your wallet is. Like you have a physical wallet, right? Crypto has a concept of wallet where only if you have your own wallet, your crypto is yours. Otherwise, it's always crypto is someone else. So most of these people who get into crypto, buying any tokens or like Bitcoin or Ethereum, often the journey happens through exchanges. You go to these exchanges, centralized exchanges like Binance and Kraken and all those things. In India, we have CoinSwitch and CoinDC, etc. You buy some crypto, you hold it as an investment most of the time. So, but the real essence of even if you hold it as a crypto as an investment, you cannot send that crypto outside India or outside to anybody as a payment mechanism. So, crypto has not just Ethereum, all these commodity investment tools, but it also has these layers of something like USDC. So if you want a crypto form of US dollar, there is something called as USDC, there is USDT and all this thing. They're kind of like a wrapper on top of US dollar, which is picked to $1 equal to one USDC. So you will never be able to send across country and all. For that to happen, you need to use self-custody wallets. You have to hold crypto in self-custody so that you can pay stuff, use experience crypto. Either it's like there is something called the decentralized finance. Either you want to do lending where you can earn some percentage in as an interest, or you can actually get a loan for your crypto as well. Just like you deposit gold and get loan, right? You can deposit your Bitcoin and get loan. So, and you can swap between different currencies from Bitcoin to Ethereum, Ethereum to USDC. You can trade and all those stuff in purely non-custodial way. So for that, you need a wallet to experience that. So that onboarding to wallet was like really difficult for a lot of people because if you lose access to that private keys, which manages the wallet, private keys kind of like a secret phrases. Uh, your entire crypto is like gone. There is no recovery solutions.
Gone. Yeah,
So
yeah.
like in exchanges, somebody can, because these exchanges manage your funds on your behalf, they will always make sure that you have access to that funds. So they do custody of your, that's why we call them as a custodians of your assets. They will always be there. They are very similar to banks. But when you purely want to get into the actual crypto, you become your own bank. We call it as unbanked. You self custody all these things. But that, safeguarding your assets is very difficult, and also using the crypto wallets are not easy. So you'll have to learn about certain things, such as you pay for transaction fee. If you're doing a transaction on Bitcoin, you have to pay with PTC. If you're doing on Ethereum, you have to pay with ETH as a fee mechanism. For different blockchain there are different
Different theme. Yeah.
yes, different transaction fee tokens. So this concepts are really hard for even right now also it's pretty hard. So one of the things we wanted to solve in Sapient, we did this in hackathon, is have a recovery solutions. If you lose access to your crypto, you should still be able to recover it. So that the thing is that has to happen in a decentralized way. So we use some technology called as a multi-party computation, where you can actually store your crypto private keys across a decentralized encrypted way, and whenever you lose access you'll be able to recover it. So this concept was called as an MPC. So we built this for wallets, but again this was a pretty early solution in 2021. Since 2021, the wallet or the account sector itself in crypto account has changed a lot, how we deal with the crypto. And currently what we are working on in Bruit is very, the problem statement is still the same, but how we tackle is slightly different, the experience of crypto.
Oh, so Druid is nothing but you have it's a parent of Sapiet, I would say, but in a different way, solving the same problem. But I have heard about this, like the asset they use their key, and still this problem is not solved, right? Then the entire crypto money is gone. Where is the
True.
asset usually stored? Where do people store it? The private keys and all. Nah,
So
like any person who is in the crypto.
so most of these wallets in crypto has something called as a seed phrases. So seed phrases is a secret phrase that will derive the private key. So if you go to any of the wallets, most of the wallets, because as I told, the crypto accounts, or if you use Bruit also, it's a very different experience. You can actually use social logins and everything to log in right now for crypto. But still, most of these wallets, either it's a mobile wallet or extensions, we call it a desktop extension wallet, they ask you when you onboard to store this seed phrases somewhere. So it should always be encrypted and kept in a drive, or you'll have to write it in a piece of paper and keep it somewhere safe in the locker, so that you, when you lose access to your wallet, you can recover it with that secret seed phrase. But no one should have access to it. So anybody who has access to secret phrase, they will get access. That's why either you keep it encrypted or you keep it in a like off-chain world, like completely isolated from desktops and internet and thing. So which is
Got it.
terrible for
So
most of the.
what? Yeah. So what Druid provides right now is there's what is it? Save it it in encrypted way, and uh so that it is not lost or something of that sort, is it?
So Bruit has a very different way, because that's where I was coming to. there are a couple of different ways of wallet. One is that which the Sapient solution that we built. One of the problems was that we were catering to one particular kind of wallet, which is EOA. It's called as externally owned wallet. The wallets are derived from the private keys. So this is still mostly used, but the thing is that the tech was evolving to make the accounts or the wallets much more flexible. We call it as on-chain account. So you think about it like a banks, right? So when you log into bank account, you have username, you write email, password, and everything. But if you lose that password or email account, you'll always be able to recover it, right? Either recover it with the reaching out to banks or forgot password you can do. So in EOA, you can actually do the recovery with the solutions like Sapient, but you will never be able to replace that private key with something else. So you still have to recover that private key some or the other way from off-chain world or solutions like Sapient. So there was a new mechanism called as on-chain accounts. The account is very similar to banking account, just like you have a banking address, right? You get to that address, that account number on the on chain. So whenever you're logging into a either this solutions, your account is actually created on the blockchain. It is actually stamped as a smart account, like we call it as a smart account, and this will live in the blockchain itself, which was not happening before. So previously the accounts or the wallets were all offline, like in private key. So now the advantage of is that you can always change these signing mechanism. If you're logging in the social login, if you lose access to social login, you can switch it to something else. You can switch it to passkey. So you can switch it to email, different email also as a login mechanism, just like your Web2 experience. Just like
Yeah.
banking, you can always change your email, right? So this is possible with that. There is a lot of intricacies involved in this tech. It's still because you still have to make it secure, self-custody and everything. But our tech has evolved since then, that you have all this flexibility. You have recovery options, you have different way to authenticate mechanisms, and you have a different flexible account management system also. For example, if you want to automate in uh, the older way of wallet, which was not possible, here you can automate. For example, if you're using this UPI, right? UPI has something called as mandate, like UPI mandate, where you tell a daily deduct 10, 100 rupees or 1,000 rupees from my account and invest in something, or do a monthly payment to a subscription service or something, by giving this UPI mandate. So that was not possible in the older way of wallet. Here, since this, we call it as a smart account, you can automate as well. You can give access to your smart account for spend limits. Particular monthly, I give access to this service for $100. Because this is again a program that lives on the blockchain, you can actually do all this sort of like automations on top of it. So we started building post Sapient because one of the risks was that we couldn't expand our tech as a solution. We slightly pivoted in the tech angle to experiment this recovery in a different ecosystem called Smart Account, which is again, this solutions was or the implementation was proposed by Ethereum Foundation, the foundation that manages the Ethereum ecosystem and all. And we started building on a solution called Safe. So Safe is again a smart account or the tech provider, which currently holds close to more than $200 billion of asset under them. So instead of building everything from scratch, we thought, okay, there is already a great tech that is evolving. Let's build solutions on top of that. Let's build these recovery solutions. Let's build this user experience solutions on top of Safe. So that sort of changed our journey from the Sapient to a different product, which was back then called as a ZenGuard, and then now it's rebranded to Brew.
Oh, got it. And that there is another also concept. So left.
Okay. That's just
Oh,
a parent company. It's not a product, it's just a registered company. So all the products that we are build are like under them. Right.
okay, okay. So it is like uh inside Consenso, there is this Zen Guard. It's now known as Do It.
Okay.
And it is the sapient got transitioned into this. Like you're oh
Yeah.
I got
Yes.
it. Now tell me one thing. Uh this is all I want to know, the practical, what kind of problem you're solving and all those things. But I would like to know a bit more about the journey part. How did you got the problem that this is a problem and this is what you are planning to solve or you want to solve. Uh, what happened after that? As it you started building MVP and how did you get your first, maybe the people? Did you do any survey or something? At the end, it is all about generating revenue as well, right? Like,
Mm,
the solution should be so good
mm,
enough that people are using it or
mm,
planning to spend on it and, use it.
mm,
So,
mm.
how the journey started? Like, what did you do? What were the steps you took?
Um, I think back then when we were building Sapient, one of the things was that definitely we wanted to solve the problem which we personally faced. So for me, even being a techie, this was a problem. And let's say if I'm not able to make my friends and family use it or people around me to use it, like I will never be able to onboard it to something like a crypto. So still our tagline is that we have like hundreds of wallets, thousands of 100 millions of crypto users, but still I'm not able to onboard my mother into the crypto ecosystem. So with this, we thought we could actually change it, like with the recovery. And we at that time we probably were like, I personally was immature in terms of a lot of people were in crypto. It's very difficult to immediately think whether a customer will pay for you, or you can scale your solution to like millions of users. It's very hard. So our goal was to get, can we get a paid user for this? Can will somebody pay for this? And when we talked to people, they were actually like, we did a we built this safe end in a hackathon. We were one of the top tens in a Ittenver hackathon, which was actually a hackathon in USA, and we were in top 10 team and like a lot of appreciation and everything. But again, this is only initial boost. You will always get a false hope that okay, this is a good product, it might work, this
Yeah.
technology is great, it will work. But you never know until you build a product and MVP that a customer can use it. So we did a survey and we got really good feedback as well. People didn't have that solution. People wanted that solution. People were ready to pay money if they hold certain assets as well. But when we
Okay.
built, there were always a security issues of acquiring users. People were still skeptical to move more than like $100 other than to just experiment, put like $1,000 big amount of money, because uh, unless our tech is like very well audited, it is backed by bigger institutions, it was pretty hard to get like bigger users. And also there were a lot of debates around the technology that we were building. So as I told, there was two types of technology for the recovery, like for wallets. One is the completely off chain, which we were using multi-party computation, and the other one is completely smart account, which lives on chain and you can do a bunch of things around it, like you build a piece of code and make that extensible. This was a off chain kind of like a solution. So we were completely open to changing our tech as well, because as long as it solves the problem for the user or ourselves, we were okay to change. And we were just like kind of like a research lab, finding out different ways to solve this. We got like a couple of grants to build on this thing, so it kept us going.
How did
This,
you get? How did you get the couple of plans? As in the people, it was in bootstrap mode. Your complete thing,
yeah, yeah.
where you.
Until then, it was still bootstrapped, and I still would say like we still haven't the current Druid solution which we launched 4 months ago. Also, we haven't launched did a fundraise which we are doing currently for next 2 months. Uh, uh, Still we are like on the grants itself, but we got like multiple grants during that time. It just, the only problem is that we couldn't scale beyond certain folks, certain people, certain, there is always a limitation when you're building on the grants, that you'll not be able to grow very fastly. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's why you
so
are planning to do the fundraising.
yeah,
So
yeah. So
take
now
that
we have
approach.
like current product. Obviously, we have like really good traction, and like we are aligned with all the tech that people are building. We have like competing solutions. We have like guarantees for the institutional paid users as well, and that's we feel that okay, this is the right time for us to fundraise to grow. Just to answer your previous question, how it happens in the crypto ecosystem is grants. Is that if you're building on a particular tech, you get assistance from them through as a grants. So let's say I'm using a tech, mainly my 50% of my solution uses this particular tech. You and they like your product because they want you to build on their solution as well. For example, in web 2, if I'm using a AWS servers, they give you credit, but they will not give you huge grants. But in crypto it's slightly different. You will get credits as a startup, but along with that you will get small fund to bootstrap your product for like say 4 5 months or even a year as well. It depends on how good the product is and everything. So yeah, like we got like Sapient, also we got like grant to continue working on that. And at the same time, probably it was my co-founder was also invested in our product at that time. He was betting on our product, so he was
Oh,
investing from his end.
okay. Because the cash flow problem is a very big problem which blocks the creative BS.
Yeah.
That's why I was asking. So, with Druid, how did you launch users? Like, what was the different ways you figure people were ready to, be a part of it?
Hmm. So with the both Sapient and ZenGuard, one of the problems I would say we kind of like faced was consumer onboarding. Like we were building both Sapient and ZenGuard as an infra first. So we were okay, Sapient as a protocol we were building, and we were asking wallets to integrate with us for their solution. We did have our
Oh,
consumer
wow.
app, but that consumer app was not great. Like people wouldn't onboard to that because they had like 50 different wallets there. So our approach was that we will take this solution to some wallet providers, and they will have kind of like a partnership with us. And again, it's a SaaS model, but in a crypto
Ah,
way, we provide our solution, we provide our infra and everything.
on
So
top of their body, yeah.
yeah, existing wallet. So, but our consumer app had users because we could talk to people, we could show them and everything. But for to scale our product, either we needed like really big funds to build our own wallet and provide this solution, or work with the existing wallets. Working with the existing
Ah,
wallets was the trickiest part. I told, right? Like, the technology we were using was either they were building themselves with a better, they always had a concerns of security about our product. So one of the things with crypto is that most of the things are open sourced. So I would say if you want to be a really good product, your most of your tech should be open sourced. Either it's a contracts, backend infra, or most of them protocol, or at least your
ah,
figured out implementation should be open source. So it was easy for us to build MVP, but they wouldn't integrate straight away. Like they build take or borrow our idea and then implement it, but they will not implement directly with our infra because either you have to pay for them. So it's a getting the paid acquisition was harder, security was harder. So there were like a lot of constraints with the tech was also pivoting a little bit. The tech was going to something a different angle that people did not want the recovery in that thing. One of the other challenges was also recovery was not higher priority for most of the people. That's something was pretty hard to hear. We thought that recovery was really high priority, but most of the people, okay, they were okay. Recovery is needed, but after certain funds, they were okay to experiment like $50, $100, put go YOLO mode and do stuffs with the self custody wallet. Either if they're techie, they will figure it out on their own. So just with that kind of like recovery, we couldn't scale for sure. And yeah, that's one thing. But what we wanted was to what we did mistake in like the Sapient was to make sure that we had a tech storm. We have to work with the existing tech, existing wallets, because crypto is all about interoperability. In Web 2, okay, you use Amazon services, you use Microsoft services, but you'll always have to take subscription from them for their services. Even if you're in the AI also, if you want to integrate with currently with ChatGPT, OpenAI, any of the models, either you could self-host, that's good thing about it, or you'll have to pay for credits, right? So in crypto, if you want to integrate anything in the crypto, it's mostly free. You have everything open source. You have everything like protocol is ready, liquidity is there. You just use their open sourced contract API to talk to them. So that is why the tech has to be in a such a way that you can target the existing users also in a completely interoperable way. You build a solution, you get that user to your platform as well, give the solution. So this is once learning that we did. Okay, we can't build from scratch. We'll have to work with an existing entity to provide a solution, or use a tech that is already well established and has a like kind of like a audited things. If you want to audit few things, you can do that. So in terms of the tech, that was a learning. And the other thing was that yeah, we want to make sure that people either this scales really big or infra, so that at some point people start paying for it, or the consumers love this product so that any feature that you add on, they will pay for it. So these were couple of things we were like okay. And the other thing is that you need really good consumer app. The infra itself is not enough. Nobody is going to integrate with you. You integrate with them, get the users into your consumer app, just like any of the uh, current tech, right? For example, if you want to build a phone pay, competing solution to phone pay, you can't expect people to integrate phone pay. Like you have to go to phone pay and say that I have this feature, integrate with me, because they will be building their own product. Instead of that, what you should do is you have UPI, you have a really good idea how to make the UPI app better. You get the license, you get everything, you build a new UPI app itself. So that's what you, but you build on the UPI layer, right? So that is a really good, because you see the so many UPI apps working out for them. Some of them might make it, or some of them might not make it, but it's still that they're in the market. So we wanted to build existing infra, existing people who are familiar with this tech, but build a different consumer. So our goal change shifted from building a lot on the infra to building this consumer app. That's what we focus main on.
Okay. Okay. So you have this consumer app, and the name of the app is
Yeah, it's a Brewit app. So Brewit is like our whole
Vega.
product, and the
Okay.
Brewit app is the consumer app that we have.
Okay. Okay. The way so easily you are talking, it would have taken a lot of challenges to come up with the, taking those kind of decisions and coming up with the app, or whether you want to spend time in infra and all these things, right? How do you manage to take decisions like, this is right for you, or this is not right for you?
Yeah, it's hard. Like obviously you need people. I think alone it's very difficult to do. Like you need somebody who can actually tell that, okay, let's pivot, do something different. And like if I say
Ah.
something, hey, let's pivot, somebody should agree to that. I always had that people around me. So for example, my co-founder was dead. For Do It, I have a new co-founder as well. Because when we were pivoting slightly, the Zenguard, we got the grants from Safe Ecosystem as well. That boosted it for like 6 more months or 2 years. At that time we were doing a lot of events to showcase our product, and then talk to developers, because Zenguard was also kind of like a developer product at that time. I had a friend like who I met in 2021, and he just left his job as well, trying to find out opportunity, trying to meet people. So he was like, okay, let's build an hackathon, this idea, like what do you have, let's experiment. And then we built that in the last year 2024 hackathon. It was not a hackathon, we built in a hackathon, but we got an opportunity to demo our solution in the uh, Bangkok. There is a one of the very prominent conference happens called DevCon, Ethereum conference. We got a slot to show our demo. Luckily, we were very lucky to get the founder of Ethereum in the room when we demoed it.
Conference.
Yeah,
Wow.
in the conference in the room, like we were able to talk to him. It was Vitalik Buterin. He was there, and it just gave us okay, we can actually show this to anybody. Like we talked to a lot of people, and it felt that being an Indian company, we always lag in front of the tech compared to USA or any other, because we still are a little behind most of the time, like either in the AI scene or crypto scene itself, because our approach is slightly different. In crypto, it's most of the time we are with them, but it's just that you need a little push because we have less opportunity and everything. So we felt that okay, we are with everybody. What people are looking for, what the tech they are using, we are using that and everything. It's always, I think, the tech that gave us a boost, rather than if we are not getting the actual users that we want. For us, for personally, it was always about tech. Like, as can we compete with the tech? Can we build a better tech? Can we actually take over? Let's say there is an incumbent, how we can actually make sure that the product is better than the incumbent or work with the incumbent. So that was always there. So yeah, just to tell this story, like I've this co-founder who was part of that, and then we built one more hackathon product with that. We were finalists in that hackathon. So it's about, I think, building, and tech always give us a confidence so that we can make stuff. Finding the users is still a
And
bigger you have to always solve, but there was always motivation. Okay, we can do things, can compete with things and everything. So yeah, I got him onboarded this year after the couple of success in some conferences or hackathons and everything. Yeah, like he has been with us since then for 9 months. And I think the company has taken a very different shape after we onboarded different co-founders as well. We got like newer employees with a different mindset, focusing a lot on the marketing, focusing on sales strategy, having one of the uh, biggest mistake we were doing, I guess, is like immediately after the launch, not talking to users a lot. So now most of the time we talk to users like a lot. So I think yeah,
uh,
we have changed our approach.
okay, okay. That's great. And what's the next step right now? What's your vision, Worship?
Yeah, I think this problem has been there from really long time to solve. I think the first vision is to solve this problem. And I think I always felt that talking to users was the hardest part. But once we have a good product and then we talk to them, then their expressions or how appreciations you get when they say that okay, this is like really great. That actually gives so much motivation. Okay, even if they're not paying right now, it's okay. There is this hope that okay, they love this product. We can make the products. People stick to our product. If the way because we have probably achieved 10% of things that we want to do with the product right now, and there's a 90% that is still pending because we also go with the narrative stuffs. For example, we built this Brew It account not just for users, we have built this for AI agents. We have built this for institutions because if you go to our landing page, it says that a crypto account brewed for everyone. So we have come up with a strategy. That's our whole vision to create an account ecosystem for everybody, which everyone can use. So yeah, this is like a short vision, I would say. The longer vision is like as long as we are able to solve the problem for everyone, we'll find different things. But I think until then, it will be like to solve this problem, which I like. Like there is nothing. Uh, I think this problem, if I don't solve, probably I will not quit. I think, or I'll just go to a different. If it doesn't work out, like it's like crypto has to break me to uh, get me out because it's
No,
been
I think so. You're
as
going.
it like 5 years I've been working on the similar problem with similar strategy. So there has to be. It always makes me think. Okay, there has to be something that I really like doing this. Although the tech has changed everything, but I think until then this is a vision to solve. Um, we'll find new
Until
things
unless you don't solve this.
along the way.
Wow, that's great. And right now, how are you getting, like, how did you? So I believe that, this is the particular hackathons has helped you a lot in terms of growing and getting a double check on what you're building. It is
Mhm.
actually going great, right? And that's where you have built a network as well, majorly. And the
Yes.
second thing, majorly, what you did is using the tech, like, which already exists. On top of it, you're building the layer. So that's where you got the grants and apart from the credit as well, which kept you
Mm.
going.
Mm.
And the users, when you launched your Druid app for the first time, I am still not able to understand this particular thing that consider I am building an app normal, not thinking about crypto. I'm building an app, I'm building one amazing app, and I'm launching it right now. How do users come to know that, there's an app which is being
Mm.
launched and they want to be a part of it? Is it via the survey and then you inform them, or there are multiple different ways also?
Mm. So yeah, it's like again you have to find the distribution channel like what for crypto what's the distribution channel or for like you basically find the audience. So when we built either
How
Brew
did
It
you find the audience?
yeah.
Yeah.
So let's say when we built Zengar, again, one of the mistakes that we did was we stick to the ecosystem that we are building in. Well, let's say we are building on the safe
Okay.
ecosystem, which was the wallet layer or account layer. We are just like distributing the solution to them. We are getting good feedback, but they are already there in this field. So they will obviously we give good feedback most of the time. Right. So we were not getting newer users to use our product, like the developers liking it. It's just that again I told right, we lived in that bubble for the Zengar.
Yeah.
The tech was great but for the Brew It again, our strategy since we are like building the consumer app, we needed a very different distribution channel. Obviously, our initial distribution channel in crypto is always a couple of things. One is Twitter is the main marketing channel for crypto
Okay.
compared to LinkedIn. In LinkedIn, you would still get likes and everything, but you might not get actual users testing the product. So in Twitter, since majority of the companies or majority of the heavy users or crypto traders everyone since they're active you can either do a dm or use some kind of like added is using solutions and everything it's possible and most of the time it's the yeah you will get a marketing channel twitter but the distribution channel is for the creator is still different. We use Telegram. So Telegram is where most of the users will be there. Either they are crypto native
Yeah.
users. Non-crypto native users is hard. It's still difficult to find any distribution channel other than directly talking to them. So that was one more channel. Let's say we were building on the account space. MetaMask was wallet is there. All these different wallets, they have their own groups. We go to their groups, we find the users, we post their in channels. So we have a one more distribution channel, which was majorly Telegram. So we have our community as well. We have our own Telegram group, ask them to join and everything. That's again a small distribution channel. We cannot go outside. So the other thing was we had to do some events as well. So we had to do like offline events where we did in like Bangalore, we did in Hyderabad, we did online town halls, spaces, and everything. There we could get newer users, not people who are not in crypto, people who are okay. Are there in exchanges? They want to experience something in crypto. What's happening in the self custody sector and everything? They would come and they already have knowledge about few wallets. If they have, they will come and like use the product. We are able to convert that into acquires few users as well. Again, it's very typical. So if you talk to like 10 people, 2, 3 people would be interested. Out of that one, you could convert them to actually use it. So it's a sales strategy of the Web2 you still have to do use for the non-crypto user. For crypto users, the sales would be different. For non-crypto users, if you're doing event, it's still hard. And the other thing is definitely we identify people who have this problem, who are very well known people. We get on call with them. We do actual product demo. They will be able to help us with more marketing as well. They will talk to more people. Uh, we talk to a lot of KOLs as well. So that's still there. So we are trying to find different ways. And then the one of the things we found out was mm, for the institution is a bigger player always for us. So our product, the accounts that we have built will work for consumers who would put smaller amounts and use our product. But institution was always a bigger integrations of users because they would pay for our smaller services and they would hold huge amount of funds. So there is in crypto there is something called as a DAOs. It's called decentralized autonomous organization. So in crypto, either it's an NFT community or if you have it in Bangalore, you have a crypto community. They form something called as a DAO. They do these meetups, they do engage with the crypto community, and they have like small funds too for themselves to do event and everything. So they have this something called as a treasury management. So they have to manage their treasury with multiple people being part of that wallet. For them, they need a very different way of managing the accounts where multiple people be part of that account, and you need to have multiple people to out of 2 out of 3 people have to sign the transaction to do a like transaction to go through and all. So the tech that we are using, multisig, is actually built for the safe multisig. It's actually built for institutions. So we started onboarding them as well. So we have like 3 DAOs that are onboarded, which hold like this decent good amount of money, and they are like treasury managed. They use our solution as a treasury management. It's a forked solution that we have built specifically for institutions, slightly different solution.
Oh, okay. Okay, I got it. Eh, How much time does it take for you to, one is concentrating on the tech, building the solution, and one is also reaching out to the consumers, having a talk with them, marketing, sales. How you guys manage both together? Like, are there
Mhm.
roles and responsibilities you decided with time? How is the dynamics?
Yeah, I think since we are still small, like both myself, my co-founders, we still do. Two of us are like tech co-founders, so like my other co-founder takes care of the product and all, like what we should add, what the UX should look like, and everything. So one of the advantage of onboarding my other co-founder is that a lot of these were taken care. I was not really great at like user experience and everything. So I could focus more on the core tech, which is either the blockchain or the infrastructure and everything. So that's something very much required to focus on little bit more on your core tech. So till the launch and even after 1 or 2 months, we were mostly building things and like fixing things and shipping things. But I think last 1 or 2 months, we kind of like went heavy on the getting the users, doing sales and marketing and everything. So we spend more time on talking to users right now, as I told, like probably 60% of the time. The other thing would be like, yeah, if there is some issues, or we still have like tech sprints where we don't do all the a lot of features. We don't take a lot of features to release. We release, let's say, one feature per week as of now. Or let's say there is a support that is required, some small feature that where the users wants, we'll do that right now. That since we are doing the fundraising mode, our effort is also more on the doing the deck, talking to investors, getting that initial call set up and everything. So that takes a little more time as well for us. So
So
it's
how
yeah.
you're getting
Yeah.
the how how do you connect with the VCs? Like,
Uh,
is it yeah?
in crypto, again, you have like VCs that if you reach out to completely, they invest on a wide variety of things. But in crypto blockchain, there is a specific investors who invest on crypto itself. So again, they are mostly active on Twitter. Sometimes if they see our product, they will only associates will reach out. We can set up initial calls. And I think again, it's a lot of networking. So since we are building on certain safe ecosystem, they will connect us with people.
Oh,
So getting that initial call is not hard. It's just that you'll have to convince the vision. Why do you need funds?
yeah.
What's the because still VCs are kind of people who still want to the investment back. So how sooner you can get that investment back for them.
Yeah.
All this
So
figuring
you
out
should
all
have
these
that
things is
strong plan.
completely different than building a product.
Cool. So how is the overall experience, dude? I mean, before we used to do tech, so it is all about building, 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 and now we are scaling in the sense we should have more users, we should
Mm.
have investors, we should
Mm.
have more features, we should have sort of strategies. How much time goes in discussing about the strategies?
Currently, I would say it's more on that only strategy most of the time because I feel like honestly we do use like in terms of the tech, right? We uh, one of the things with the blockchain is that you still have to be like very critical about the security stuff. So we can't use a lot of AI when it comes to either integrations or the contracts and everything. But in terms of functionality, AI agents can still help us with most of the things. And I think for honestly for the like the marketing and sales, that has been more helpful for me. Like otherwise, it would have been so difficult to learn things about it, structure everything, strategize. So now even with the leaner team, we are able to do all these things because the marketing agents are able to help us all all these
Ah,
things.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you
So
have
I
built
think
AI tools
that's
for the
mm.
marketing agents, and you have built the AI tools and all
uh mm, not ourselves, like we use
custom.
some other solutions which can actually train for marketing, just give all the data or visions and everything so that we get more curated content than using something like ChatGPT, all or for the image generations and everything. So we take advantage as much as possible for all these different services. Either Perplexity, we have solutions called Bindi, or using our own LLMs and everything. So we have one more team, one more person in our team who is into AI, who is helping us with consulting. So yeah, like we take advantage of the technology itself as long as it can make our work easy, not tougher.
So is it like you take advantage of the technologies which are there, be it Gemini, be it Perplexity, and all, or do you outsource it like someone who is an AI enthusiast who create this or bridge that gap in terms of doing certain marketing in specific way, customizing, using the tools and all those things. Outsource it to someone.
Yeah, it's a combination of those things. For smaller things, we still would use Perplexity and all, or for a couple of things, we have self-hosted LLMs which can actually train our data on. And like we haven't taken the consultancy as such, but we have built small in-house workflows, not the tools. So that can help
Oh,
us with content and everything.
perfect. That's great. And how is the feeling, Kaushik,
Yeah,
of
it's good.
doing all
Like
this thing?
the fire is still there, so
Fire
it's
will
there.
be there. Fire will. It's a complete ball game altogether, right? Completely overwhelming and different
Yeah, yeah,
scenario
yeah,
to be.
yeah. But I think the more clarity you get on what you're doing, what you're where the direction you're heading, I would say a year back we are at better position. That's I think that's the most important thing I would say. So if you're going backwards, you should always stop as being an entrepreneur or the being a founder. But I think we never went backwards. I would say like we were always in the learn different things. What didn't work out, we changed it. Either we had to make tough decisions, we made here and there. Even though like that is something that is really hard to make, like tough decisions for me. Like I learned a lot of things, and it helped personally as well. A lot of things. Either it's patience or talking to users. I was not a social person as a founder. That probably I'm still not
You
that
have to
social
do.
person.
Yeah.
I'm still not that big of social person, but I can tolerate a lot more right now, right? Like I can uh, probably a year ago, or sorry, couple of years ago, I was not able to talk to talk about a topic that I do not like for more than 10 minutes. Now I could probably talk and listen to that, collaborate with for an hour, which I don't like. So I think it's adjusting to and yeah,
You
like
learn a lot. You learn a lot.
yeah, it's fun. Like
True. I mean, it's
it's very hard to become go back to doing things the other way right now. That's the challenging part, I think. Once you become a founder, because you have your own time, you can take decisions. You still have to ask a lot of people to make a decision, but you still have you know that you are making a decision that you from your heart. So when
you
you're
are owning your decision also.
when you're working for something else, there might be a lot of disappointment on some of the decisions that you take in the product or tech or whatever it is, or you will not be able to see the outcome of what you're building most of the time. So you will not be as aligned. So yeah, it's like aligning to our product could be much more harder back going back to work when once you become the product, like once you become a founder, I think.
I know. I know. The situation which we overwhelmed us previously used to be like, now the capacity has increased a lot. The capacity to tolerate or the
Mm,
capacity to go through situations. Now things don't feel overwhelming until they are such big, big things. Now, when I also look back, I'm like, oh my God, how I was back then versus how I am now. Like, there are a
yeah.
lot of challenges you have to face, and there is no option. You have to go through it.
Mm,
So, yeah, I can literally understand. I can literally understand every part of how you also might be feeling because I'm also in the same boat. And I'm so
yeah, yeah.
glad that,
Yeah,
you have
yeah.
taken
Like
up this
I
particular
was
journey.
also able to communicate with much clearly because you have also been into tech, worked as a market in I think in marketing, right? Like or sales as well.
And yeah, in sales as well. And but when you work in tech or when you work in sales versus when you are doing something of your own and you
Mm,
have to handle tech sales and I won't say from so I have tied up with there's cross production link. There's this company, Piyush Barodia, and like we are co-founders and
true.
um uh one side it is on the AI completely,
Mm,
like building on AI, and the other side is on the mental health and all those things. So, navigating what is going to work, what is not going to work. Shall we start the product or shall we do the services? What is better, what is not? Everything you have to take the decision. It is
mm,
completely different than when you're working for someone,
yeah.
to be
Yeah.
honest.
Mm,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's there. But
mm,
anyway, I get one last question. You guys are three people, right? Like, the co-founders. One is you got who joined you a year back, and then there
mm,
is one
mm.
more who is uh,
Yes, yes.
25 years older. So
Mm,
there might be conflicts or difference of opinion to when it comes to strategizing what should be the next feature or what should be there, or maybe
mm,
when it comes to marketing or when it comes to building. How do you resolve conflicts? Like,
mm,
was there a moment where you were like, "Oh my God, no, you're at the wrong place," or it is very challenging to
mm.
everyone to be aligned?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things that has to align with the co-founder. Specifically, if things are not working out right, like I think it's very easy to fall apart. And like for example, in our case, a lot of things did not work out, right? So at that time, we would have fallen apart a long time. I think the maturity of my co-founder, the first co-founder, which we are still there, it's pretty high, and uh, that is one of the reasons. The maturity you need. I think it's just like any relationship, you still have to respect each other, no matter what their opinion is, right?
Yeah.
So either, okay, let's say I'm a little bit better at tech into crypto, the other two person will always respect. the user experience one co-founder is good at it, they will respect, and the marketing strategy other. So it's still some expertise or some way personally, or the in terms of expertise you are allowed to respect people. That is something that will hold together, even though how much ever differences that we have. Obviously I'll have differences with my co-founder in terms of marketing strategy, or let's say in terms of the product itself, what product should go next, the everything, like how the product should look like. Smaller things as well. The UX here, it shouldn't really. These are all small things. The smaller differences are, I think, totally fine as long as the
It's
bigger
fine.
vision
Yeah,
is you're there for the right
I
reason.
agree.
So, for example, in crypto, a lot of people in this crypto are there for the really wrong reasons, and they have like do not have this kind of like patience to survive more than 4 or 5 months, 6 months. They have to either get an investment, make money, exit, and everything. So if you align with these people as a co-founder, it's gonna never gonna work out, right? It's just like any relationship. If you are there for the long reasons for something, it will not work out for sure. So I think we still are lucky enough. I think it's uh, before coming to be co-founder, you'll have to talk to them a lot. It's easy if you're after a certain age. I think you figure out how who is right for you, who is not right for it. I think it's rarely that co-founders fall apart. Maybe they started as immature, both of them.
Yeah.
Lucky enough to have co-founders for me that even the tough times, like we even with the differences or longer visions and longer goals and personal goals are very similar. Uh, so
Wow.
so that was a good
That's
thing.
great. Perfect. Okay. Cool. I guess that's all from my end. I loved having this particular podcast with you to know about your journey and where are you and what you're doing. It was really curiosity because I guess in the entire batch of MIT 2016, right? It's both of us were sailing in the
Mm,
same boat in different domains altogether, but
mm,
facing the similar kind of situations, I would say, when it comes to find this journey. And I hope this gives a lot of viewers a lot of insights in terms of crypto, in terms of how you didn't give up. And majorly, I believe what is keeping you going on is you want to solve that problem. You are not going to quit before solving that problem at all. So you're on it, and it's not about money. I would say it's about majorly about building new things and all, and that's what is keeping you guys alive, and that's what the true spirit of the founder is. I would
mm.
say that solving. Then okay,
Mhm.
how much I'm going to get out of it,
Yes,
right?
definitely. I think
So how
we
was
need
your ex?
here and there smaller wins for sure. If you do not have
Yeah,
smaller wins, it's very difficult to
it's very human.
continue. Even you have like a problem to solve. So we had like smaller wins here and there, and we are going in the right direction.